Scrabble! Once upon a time the poster child of word-based board games, Scrabble hung out with the biggest stars, attended all the celebrity parties and swept the Oscars during awards season. But that was a long time ago. Scrabble was released in 1938, over 80 years ago. Since then, numerous important events have happened which have changed the world immeasurably. Perhaps the biggest indication of Scrabble's age is these tiles. Designer Alfred Mosher Butts based the value of these tiles on the frequency of the letters as they appeared in a daily edition of the New York Times. If you applied that same metric to a current edition of the New York Daily Times, you'd find that the language has changed so much in 82 years that the values on your tiles would actually be slightly different. So here's a fun exercise for you. Next time you get the chance, why not visit your local Scrabble club and tell the members that the scoring system on their favourite game is maybe a little bit out of date. Run. Now, despite all that, I actually think that Scrabble's still a pretty good game, but it is a little bit passé, it is a little bit archaic, a little bit quaint and cosy. If, however, you want to be like today's cool kids, there is a brand new word-based board game in town. If Scrabble is about trying to make the best words using a limited number of letters, then Codenames is about making connections between disparate, sometimes completely unrelated words, and then using clues to somehow convey that connection to other people. So this is also a team game and it's played using a grid of 25 words. Some of these words relate to your own agent's codenames, some relate to your opponent's. The team that wins is the team that makes contact with all of their agents first. As your team's spy master, you'll be giving your teammates clues that will hopefully lead them to your agents. A clue is always just one word, a single word that relates to one or more of the code names on this grid. It'll be up to your teammates to decode that clue and work out which of the code names you're trying to lead them to. Codenames comes with this big deck of cards, each one of which is double-sided. What you want to do is take the deck and give it a good competent shuffle. Or maybe just take 25 at random and then lay them out in a 5x5 grid. Then split into two teams, a blue team and a red team. Each team also needs to choose one player to be their spy master. The spy masters should always sit together on the same side of the table because they're going to choose a card at random from this deck. This little grid here shows the spy masters the location of all of the agents around the board, while the colour around the outside tells them which team will start. I'm the blue spy master and I'm going to give my team a clue. Now a clue always takes the same form. It's a word, a single word followed by a number. So if I say to my teammates, pet 2, what I'm telling them is that 2 of the blue code names on this board are related to the word pet. It's up to my teammates to then work out which words I'm trying to lead them to. This is my teammate Kevin, a managing consultant from Hull and a Codenames novice. Kevin is going to help me show you just how easy it is to play Codenames. Having given Kevin a clue, Kevin is now going to choose the first word on the board he thinks relates to the word pet. If that guess is correct, and in this case it is, I get to take one of my team's tokens, this blue token here, and cover that word. Kevin now has a choice. If he wants to, he can actually end the turn right there. If he's not sure on what the other word might be, he can save the clue for later. Or if he wants to, he can continue guessing and try another word. One important rule of Codenames is that spy masters, when they're not giving clues, are not allowed to say anything or show any kind of emotion which would give information to their teammates. So what happens if your teammates make an incorrect guess? Well, it depends on what the word is on the grid. If you're lucky, it might be one of these blank beige tiles here, which means it belongs to an innocent bystander. If that's the case, you take one of these neutral tiles, cover the word, and your team's turn is over. But if you're unlucky, that word might actually belong to your opponent's team, which if that's the case, then congratulations, you've just given your opponents a free point. But you could get really unlucky if you uncover the assassin, of which there's always one in any game of Codenames. If anybody uncovers this word at any point, then that team immediately loses the entire game. So that, apart from a couple of details, is everything you need to know. Spy masters take turns to give clues until one team uncovers all of their agents and wins, or a team uncovers the assassin and they lose. So there are some limits on the clues that you can give, which you can look up in the back of the manual if you want the full list, but generally speaking, as long as your clues relate to the meaning of words, you should be okay. So no giving gland as a clue for England, or giving the letter B as a clue for words beginning with B. As for your teammates, they always have to make at least one guess on their turn, but they can stop guessing anytime they want. Also, you're allowed to guess up to one more than the number given in the clue. So if your spy master gives you a clue for 3 words, you can, if you want, as long as you keep making correct guesses, guess up to 4. So that's Codenames. I don't know what you're trying to tell me.
Oh, hi. Is this a Scrabble club?
Yeah, come on in.
Is it filming?
Yes, hello. Hello, yes.